Can we help Atletico Madrid win major trophies? What is up guys, A7 Snipes here, and in today's video, we're doing an Atletico De Madrid takeover as Diego Simeone. So this is how our team is looking like. As y'all can see, we need to improve the players that we have, and also I think the formation needs a change because this formation is way too defensive. As y'all can see, our substitutes and reserves aren't too bad, but I still feel the team needs some top class world players. So we're gonna be signing some new players to the team. So we completed the signings. We got Alvarez from Manchester City, Gnabry from Bayern. We also got Rodri from Manchester City. And in defense, we got Robertson in the left back position and also Marquinhos as our new center back alongside Savage. And this is a squad we're going to be pulling up to compete in all the competitions we play in throughout the whole season. I think with these signings, this team has improved, not only in the attack, but also in the midfield and in the defense. As y'all can see, we still got some of the core players that were already in the squad, like Griezmann, Koke, the captain, Savage, Llorente, and of course the goalkeeper, Oblak. I think this team is strong enough to start the season. So let's get right into it. So in our first match of the season, we play against Granada in La Liga. But so things could go faster, and also so that we don't have an impact in the results, we're gonna be simming throughout the whole entire season. So let's get right into the simulation. So the simulation has ended, and in the first month of the season, we have 3 La Liga games, which we win against Granada, lose against Real Betis, and win against Rayo Vallecano. To be honest, we should have won against Real Betis, but I'll let it slide for now. Now to start September, we play against Sevilla in the league, which we win 2-1, and then we play Valencia, which we also win, and then we play our first game in the Champions League against Lazio, which we also win 2-0, so a great start in the Champions League. But then we have the Madrid derby against Real Madrid, and we lose 2-1. After that loss, we have another loss, but this time against Osasuna, 1-0 in the league. But then to end off the month, we play Cadiz in La Liga once again, but this time we win 3-2. So our first game in the month of October is a Champions League game, which we draw against Feyenoord 1-1. Then we have a La Liga game against Real Sociedad, which we win 2-1, and then we absolutely destroy Celta de Vigo in the league 5-0. But then out of nowhere, we lose against Celtic in the Champions League. Then to end off the month, we draw in La Liga against Alaves. Now until November, we have 3 La Liga games and win all 3 against Las Palmas, Villarreal, and Mallorca. And we also have 2 Champions League games against Celtic and Feyenoord, which we win. And thankfully, we don't lose against Celtic once again, so I'm happy about that. We learned from our mistakes. Now for the first game of December, we lose against Barcelona 3-2 in a close game. We win against Almeria in the league, and then we draw in probably the last game of the group stage against Lazio. The last 2 games of the year, we win in La Liga against Athletic Bilbao and Getafe. Now to start off the new year, we draw in La Liga against Girona 2-2, and then in a cup game, we win 2-1, but then in the Super Cup, we lose again against our rivals, Real Madrid 3-1. So it seems that we're eliminated from that tournament, which is disappointing. Then after that, we play against Rayo Vallecano in the league, which we win, but then lose against Granada 3-2. But then we have a cup game against Las Palmas, which we win, and then in the league we beat Valencia, and then in another cup game, we play against a Villarreal, and we beat them 1-0. So it seems in the cup, we're doing pretty good and advancing to the next rounds. And then in February, we finally beat Real Madrid in the Madrid derby 2-1. So we start off in a positive note. To keep that winning streak, we win Osasuna in a cup game, and then draw against Sevilla in the league, and draw again, but this time in the Champions League against Leipzig. And then we have 2 La Liga games in the same week against Las Palmas, which we win, and then draw against Almeria. And in the cup game, it seemed to be the second leg against Osasuna. We beat them 3-1. In March, we have 3 La Liga games against Real Betis, Cadiz, and Barcelona, which we win all 3 games. Notably against Real Betis, destroying them 5-2, and also against Barcelona, beating them once again. But then in the Champions League, we lose against Leipzig 3-1, and it seems to be that we're eliminated from the Champions League. But after that elimination, we beat Villarreal in La Liga 2-0, and then get eliminated again, but this time in a cup game 4-5 in penalties against Sevilla. Then we have 3 La Liga games to end off the month against Girona Girona, Alaves, and Athletic Bilbao, and we win 2 and draw against Girona. Now for the last month of the season, we have our 5 last games of La Liga against Mallorca, which we win, Celta de Vigo, which we draw, then against Getafe, Osasuna, Real Sociedad, we beat each team 2-0. So now that we saw the results throughout the whole season, let's go check out the standings in La Liga and also where we ended off in the other tournaments we played in. So in La Liga, we ended up being second with 87 points, tied in first place Barcelona, but the goal difference makes them champions. I actually didn't think we were that close from winning La Liga, but we were, and only because of goal difference we lose it. Then Real Madrid are in third place with 83, so sadly we don't win La Liga. So now let's go check out what happened in the Supercopa. So in the semifinals, we versed Real Madrid and lost, making it a Real Madrid versus Barcelona final, which Barcelona come on top in penalties and becoming Supercopa champions. So now that we saw what happened in the Supercopa, let's go check out the Copa de España. So in the round of 32, we beat Racing. Then in the round of 16, we beat Las Palmas. And then in the quarterfinals, we beat Villarreal. And in the semis, we beat Osasuna to qualify to the finals, but then we lose in the finals against Sevilla in penalties. A cruel way to lose it, and it could have been our first and probably only trophy of the season, but we don't take the dub. After almost winning our first trophy, let's go now check out what happened in the Champions League. So in our group, we came out first with 11 points, tied with Feyenoord, also had 11, but our goal difference was better. And then Celtic in third, went to the Europa League, and Lazio were completely eliminated from European football. So I'm happy that we came out first in our group, meaning that we qualified to the round of 16, but lost against Leipzig 5-3 in aggregate, being eliminated early on. So now that we saw where we were eliminated, let's see who won the Champions League. And the winners of the Champions League are Manchester City, beating Arsenal 2-1 in the final and winning their second Champions League in their history. So now that we saw the winners of the Champions League, let's see who won the Europa League. And Liverpool win the Europa League to become champions, beating Milan in the final. So now lastly, let's check the winners of the Conference League. And Lille from France beat Fenerbahce in the final to become the Conference League champions. So now that we saw what happened in the tournaments we played in, let's go check out if any of our players made it to the top scorers list, top assisting list, and if our goalkeeper had the most clean sheets. So the top scorer of La Liga was Ferran Torres from FC Barcelona with 22 goals. So congrats to him. And our player Antoine Griezmann with 18 goals. Not bad at all. And I'm happy to see one of our players at least in this list. But let's quickly check if any of our players are in the top 25. And yes, Depay and DePaul each with 10 goals in the 23rd and 24th place. So I'm even more happy that we saw more of our players in the top 25 list. And the most assists in La Liga was once again Ferran Torres with 13 assists, and Depay came in 8th place with 7 assists, and also Antoine Griezmann in 13th with 6, and DePaul in 14th place with 6 also. So once again, the same 3 players made it to the top 25 list. And Oblak, our goalkeeper, had the most clean sheets in the season with 18. So now that we saw some of our players in these lists, let's go check out the overall stats of our most important players and the players that we signed in the beginning of the season. Andrew Robertson made 35 appearances with 1 goal, 0 assists, and 15 clean sheets. Our second player that we signed, Marquinhos, had 37 appearances with 3 goals, 4 assists, and 16 clean sheets. So I'm very proud of Marquinhos because he actually did good. Now Gnabry from Bayern Munich, that we also signed, only had 16 appearances, 4 goals, and 3 assists throughout the whole season. That's a bit disappointing, meaning that Diego Simeone barely played him throughout the whole season. I expected a bit more from Gnabry, I'm not gonna lie. Now another Bayern player that we signed, Leon Goretzka, made only 24 appearances, 2 goals, and 2 assists. So it seems that he didn't play every game, but the games he did play, his stats are pretty good for a midfield. But once again, I expect a bit more. Rodrigo De Paul, the Copa America champions with Argentina, had 32 appearances, 10 goals, and 6 assists. One of our best players of the season at the moment. Koke, our captain, only had 16 games, 1 goal, and 0 assists. Rodri from Manchester City that we signed in the beginning played 35 games, made 3 goals, and 4 assists. another player that played pretty good. Now onto Antoine Griezmann, that played every game with 18 goals and 6 assists. Probably our MVP of the season. Now on to a super sub striker, Alvaro Morata, played 15 games, made only 3 goals and 2 assists. Another super sub striker, shockingly played 38 games, made 10 goals and 7 assists. Meaning that Julian Alvarez, that we signed in the beginning from Manchester City, only made 8 appearances, 2 goals and 1 assist. There is no way. I hope it was he picked up an injury in the beginning of the season, but if that wasn't the case, that means Diego Simeone just didn't use him a lot. So now that we saw what happened throughout the whole season and our player stats, overall, I think this takeover was a failure. We built a low-key realistic mega team, but it just wasn't enough because we won 0 trophies throughout this season. We were close to winning La Liga and the Copa de España. So if y'all want to see a season 2 of this takeover, then let me know in the comments below. That being said, I hope y'all enjoyed. Like and subscribe, y'all, and I'm out. Peace.